What do the Japanese people have to do with the 10 lost tribes of Israel?
Japan is called the Holy Land. Nihon in Japanese, meaning land of the book. During the dynasty of ancient emperors of the 8th century AD, the Japanese chronicled the ancient ancestral origins in 2 books, called Kojiki and Nihonji, meaning records of ancient matters. They mention all the kings of Israel, King David and King Solomon.
86-year-old Dr. Avigdor Shachan has spent over 50 years walking in the footsteps of the 10 lost tribes, and still to this day gets excited about the holy secrets of Japan's emperors.
My mentor, Josef Heidelberg, who is no longer alive, was a serious investigator. He discovered that the emperors of Japan are descended from the Kohanim, the priests of Israel, and are holy beings, even until this day. After the Americans dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, the Japanese people pleaded for just one thing: don't harm our holy king, don't damage his respect. He is holy above other human beings.
Avigdor says in 660 BC, a Japanese queen invited the Israelites who had settled in China and Korea to immigrate to the island of Japan.
Approximately 20,000 to 30,000 settled in Japan, which at the time was pretty much an unpopulated island. Still to this day, Japan counts its history as starting in 660 BC. As in Judaism, Japan also uses a lunar calendar that was said to be adopted from the Israelites. It is believed that Buddha means Boda et HaTorah Sheli, which means come and learn my Torah. And it was found Buddha actually lived among the Israelites and learned all this. Japan decided that only 2 religions will be allowed: Shintoism and Buddhism. I was the first to write it, but even the Rambam said that Buddhism is not a pagan religion. It's based on something else.
Shinto comes from the Hebrew word Veshinantem, which means, and you shall repeat. Avigdor is certain that Shintoism is influenced by Judaism and must come from the lost tribes.
The Shinto temples are influenced by the temple in Jerusalem. Worshippers even do a ritual of washing their hands before entering the holy temple. The famous Shinto gates all over Japan are called tori, coming from the Aramaic word tara, meaning gate. There are birds on these gates, and the word for bird in Japanese is to. Also, the Holy of Holies in the Shinto temple is an Ark of the Covenant, exactly according to the specifications written in the Bible.
And what's more, hundreds of words in Japanese resemble Hebrew and Aramaic words and reference the land of Israel. Here are some examples.
In Japanese, when you give someone something, you say kudasai. The Japanese can't pronounce the sh sound from the letter shin. So the word kudasai comes from the Hebrew word kadosh sheli, meaning my saint. We all know the famous Japanese samurai fighter. The word comes from the Hebrew shomer ha'i, which means the one who protects the island.
Pearl Harbor, a sorry mess.
When the Americans went to war with Japan after Pearl Harbor, we all know about the famous kamikaze pilots. Kamikaze is referred to as Ruach HaKadosh, the Holy Spirit. Kami comes from the Aramaic word meaning atik or ancient. Atar Rai means toilet in Japanese, and is built on two Aramaic words, atar and rai, essentially meaning, do your business.
Yoi Otoshi, ביפנית, שנה טובה, יoi Otoshi.
Yoi Otoshi in Japanese is Shana Tova, Happy New Year in Hebrew. Yoi is an Aramaic and Hebrew word, Yeh Tov, it will be good.
Tushiya,
Toshiya meaning wisdom, and Yora meaning teaching. So Toshi Yori means a wise man.
Toshiori is also the word for sumo wrestling coaches. Sumo follows ancient Shinto rituals to ensure a bountiful harvest and honor the spirits known as kami. Also, a Shinto priest officiating and the throwing of salt before a bout to purify the ring.
Today, about 90 million of Japan's 130 million people are Shinto, with the majority of the remainder being Buddhists. The Jewish nation and the Japanese nation have shared history. We are from the same source. Many famous researchers have confirmed these similarities. Obviously, I don't expect 90 million Shinto people to move to Israel, but at least to come visit. The Jewish people don't have many friends. If we are the same blood and the Japanese people have good relations with Israel, that is enough for me.
Emily Francis, I-24 News.
Is a country of old and new. Outwardly, everything is moving fast, in a state of constant progress. But underneath, the Japanese people are deeply rooted in tradition. How did the Japanese people become so adept at innovation and technology? What keeps their ancient culture so alive? Would you be surprised to learn that Japanese culture and religion could have been deeply influenced by Jews from ancient Israel? I'm standing here high atop Kurama Mountain in Kyoto Prefecture. Down below, the villagers at Kurama are preparing for their annual fire festival. Now they practice this festival every year. It's believed that this festival has been celebrated since the 1200s, when they would light signal fires to escort evil spirits to hell. I believe this festival resembles the holiday of Rosh Hodesh that was celebrated in ancient Israel. And Rosh Hodesh was a holiday that would mark the arrival of the new moon. Every year they would watch the sky and light a signal fire when they first saw the new moon. And then fires would be lit all across the mountain towns in Israel, and a great celebration would take place. Now, how could it possibly be that this festival here in Kyoto, in Japan, resembles that of ancient Israel? And that is a deep mystery. To understand the connection better, we should travel to Ise, home of the Grand Shrine and center of the Shinto faith. Millions of Japanese people make the pilgrimage to the Grand Shrine every year. It is a place of great beauty and great mystery. The layout and architecture of the shrine is similar to the first temple in Israel. The innermost chamber holds one of Shinto's 3 great treasures, a mirror, just like at the first temple. The building materials, the decorative symbols, even the Shinto way of guarding and patrolling the shrine is the same as the first temple. Separate from the shrine, but close by at a Buddhist temple, a group of Yamabushi perform a purification ceremony every year. Their outfits resemble that of Jewish rabbis. The boxes on their heads, the trumpets they are blowing, and the scrolls they are reading from all resemble Jewish objects. The Yamabushi have been around since mythologic time in Japan. If you look closely on the shoulders of these men, you will see the mask of Tengu. The Tengu myth appears even earlier in Japanese mythology. The Tengu were considered to be mountain spirits and expert teachers of martial arts. They had Western features, held mystical powers, and read from a scroll known as the Torah no Maki. If the original Tengu were Jews, you can imagine how the legend evolved through the eyes of the Japanese people. Kurama Mountain is the home of one of the oldest Tengu legends. And it is here, every year, the villagers put on their amazing Himatsuri, or fire festival. They light signal fires at the week of the new moon and dance before the omakoshi, an object that looks like the Ark of the Covenant. These rituals resemble a holiday that was celebrated in ancient Israel at the time of the first temple and hasn't been celebrated in the same way since. Today's Japan is a complex mix of strong self-identity and waves of outside influence. It is modern and ancient at the same time, mysterious and complex, and yet divinely simple. No matter what the true origins of the Japanese people are, one thing is clear: they are passionately dedicated to keeping their ancient heritage alive.